How's it going, Shelf? You make it there okay?
Yeah, when my camo's busted, I guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Ha! You always preferred not cheating anyway. Listen up. The games are located in a room in the northwest corner of the building. There are several guards on duty, so be careful, as the long hallways don't provide much cover.
I'll be okay. I have my wits about. What's up?
This is, Brent. We just want to let you know we have a bunch of video game stuff in, that we want you to take a look at, and see if you're interested in any of it. So come on in.
So I don't have to sneak around? Great. This box was cramping my style anyway. So I get this call while away on vacation from, I wouldn't say I would say he's an acquaintance, but I don't know. This basically, it's a thrift store. It used to give me some better deals. They used to have stuff out, but since then they had placed things behind and they were selling online. And let's start out the video with a shout out. I'd like to recommend channels where I like the content, but I also like to recommend channels where I jive with the person. I jive with DeadThumb 83, I jive with NUser2090, as I recommended before. But DeadThumb Gamer, aka DTG in his infinite quarters, I jive with this guy. He's not just another talking head in a box. He puts out some unique content. You know, so you might not get his style at first, might dismiss him, but you'd be missing out on an incredibly intelligent, humorous, extremely creative personality. He makes his own music. I'm gonna put a link to his video where he talks about how he got back into the retro scene. He likes shooters. I made some, cool collection videos. Stay past the intro to his videos, and I guarantee you'll find something unique and interesting that'll keep me coming back to DeadThumb Gamer's channel. So it was a huge surprise when this guy calls me and says, "Hey, we got all this stuff. It's been sitting here for a year." I'm like, "What? Are you? It was there for a whole freaking year? You didn't even try selling? You didn't? Come on, tell me. I'm right here. I come in weekly, sometimes twice a week." I get the call. I tell him I won't be able to see you until next week. I said, "Can you hold on to it for me? Just hold on 1 week, please. Before you do anything rash."
Normally employees only, but if you want to dig through this.
Sweet. I've been looking for some Sega stuff.
All the cords and cables should be here.
Do you know, what you were thinking, per game or system or something like that? Or, does it...
We need to put in the system.
Okay. What's this?
You could grab...
Holy crap.
You could grab what you think you want, and we could work it out after.
Sure. Yeah, and like I said, there were two Sega Saturns. I only want one of them.
When those came in, you're right, they didn't come with the course.
But they did have controllers.
System was 20. He already wrote that.
20.
Yeah.
Could I ask him maybe if I get $5 cheaper, maybe 5? Because I don't have the video cords or anything. I have the. It's all our friends. Sega Genesis games. Because even at the flea markets, I wasn't seeing these. I can't believe that there are that many people who threw away these things, you know? I know Nintendo was popular even before the Sega Genesis, but the Sega Genesis rocked Nintendo's boat when it came along and stayed that way for the majority of the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, whatever, its lifespan. So, what am I getting at here? I'm getting at the fact that I'm very surprised that I'm not seeing a lot of Sega Genesis stuff, especially considering how it's not valued among, as much as Nintendo's. Every time I see this, I always think it's a Genesis game, because it looks like one from the side, it even sounds like one. Windsurfing. Somewhat early on, he said $5 a game, but I really wanted to get that price out of him really early on because I wanted to lock him in at it, in case I saw something I really liked. But he said, at first, like, we'll go from there. So anyways, right off the bat, you got Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I have this game on the Super Nintendo. This one, I have the Super Nintendo version, and there are differences between the two, not only because of the screen resolution, but they actually changed up some of the gameplay. They give you a map on this one. There is a really, really good site called Retro Sanctuary, and they do comparisons between different platform versions of the same game. So I'm going to link specifically to the Zombies Ate My Neighbors comparison. Highly recommend reading. Very quick too. They compare different categories: graphics, sound. I think resolution might even be one of them. Check it out. You won't regret it. I didn't really want to give off the scent that I was picking off the more collectible titles. So I did throw in some ones that I wanted to maybe have as doubles, especially when I wanted to keep them and bring them back to the Sega Genesis away from this Sega, my side piece, away from this Sega. I have my main Sega Genesis here, but then also back at my family's place, I have a Sega Genesis I brought home one time. So an example of that is, get to it, Sonic Spinball. Next one up, Toe Jam and Earl. No poster, still complete, excellent condition. Sonic 3 Earthworm Jim here, and my copy's utter shit. When I bought it several years ago now, actually I think I showed it to you in the Hot Sauna episode 2 years ago. This game, however, I get, and it's fun, it's odd, it's quirky, and it's complete. Saturns, okay? And I knew I had to bring home one of them. I wasn't going to be an asshole and grab more than that, because for one, it would seem suspicious. I don't really want to threaten, the kind of relationship I have at this thrift store. So they may let me back there again, I don't know. I decided I want the Model 1. Are we focused here? Remember, I'm paranoid. Paranoia. So, looking at them, the Saturns have a window here. You can see the disc. The Model 2, I saw a green disc inside, and so I was like, okay, that's coming home with me. Popped it open, and I was like, no shit. Guardian Heroes, okay? Not something you see every day. Unicorn! Some of you people might know what these are. I kinda know, I think I know. I think this allows you to play imports, and this one is like an expanded memory RAM pack for games that, you know, like they would offer better graphics or more animations to character sprites. Like I think some Capcom fighters did it, if I can remember correctly. I don't really know. You know, I had a PlayStation back then and pretty much ignored the Saturn except for Panzer Dragoon and Knights. Because whatever. PlayStation for life, yo. PlayStation Thug Life. I'm really curious if any of these would allow you to boot backups without hard modding the system. You know, JerryTerrifying, I'm gonna be lazy. You tell me what I can do with these. Look at this, folks. We got a full color Earthworm Jim strategy guide. Check that out. It's a comic book. I don't know if I actually have at least one issue, probably one issue, of the Earthworm Jim comic. What I'm really happy about is this. So let me get focused on this. This is map of level 1. And there were just some things I never knew how to get to, like down here, right? This is where you start out. There's like this part down here, and I think I might have gotten there, maybe. But I don't think I ever got over in this area below the boss. And you know, there's probably other areas like that I'm forgetting right now, but you know, this thing's, I'm gonna keep this. It's gonna help me out. Saturn. I actually found some controllers. No, they're not official, but I have 2 Saturns now, but I have 1 controller, and I guess now I have 3 now. I have 3 controllers. I'm meaning to get rid of one of them, but obviously I can't get rid of the Saturn if I don't have PlayStation games in the box. Very few. One of them happened to be Digimon World, and Black Label, excellent condition. Game pisses me off because it kills your guy after a certain amount of days. So it's pretty much like Pokemon, but more mature. Whatever. And Point Blank 3. But this isn't Point Blank 3. It's actually nothing. No, it's not. Hold on. Anyways, I started checking like every single system that I could. Checked all Nintendos. I found like 2 of them. They had Super Mario Brothers. You know, one that had to track me. Mario Brothers 3. I think there weren't any other discs, but I did check a GameCube, and there was a nice copy of Melee. Works well, great. I put it in here to have some, in case you ever have a system that you know, you have a double of. And I also like having, and I picked up this game because there are, there's a somewhat expensive, that doesn't mean rare, but somewhat expensive bowling game on the N64. I thought it was this one, it's not. It's an expensive meaning like more than $5, you know, like I think it's like 30 or 60 bucks. My camera ran out of memory, but this was a thing I knew about even before. Like, when I started recording on camera, I started recording 720, and I quickly ran out of memory. So, and over the vacation, I was trying to record stuff at the flea markets, and I had the, you know, the pleasure of trying to go through the itinerary or whatever, the list of all the videos, and figuring out what I had to delete when my phone was telling me I had low space. Some stuff didn't get recorded, so I bought a 32 gig micro SD card, 2 of them actually. That's what I'm going to use on my tablet. But what I'm getting at is, it arrived literally the day of this thrift store. Like I had gone to the thrift store and I got this in the mail the same day. What are you gonna do? Negotiations were partially captured. The price was not. 10, 12 games. These were included. The controllers were included. The cables were included. He threw in these for free. Threw in the nails for free. The N64 controllers were $5 a pop. And the system they were gonna charge me $20 for at first. You can see that. Now, they were going to charge me $75, they ended up charging me $70 because I said, hey, could you take off $5? I'm gonna have to buy my own video cables for the Saturn. That was already a deal. I didn't want to pay 20 bucks for an iffy Saturn, okay? Are we in focus? Are we in focus here? Are we in focus? Okay, we're good. 70 bucks, solid deal, amazing deal. Let's go on the next one. They had this sale advertised. It said video games. It said specifically, it said retro games. It didn't, I mean, they used the word retro, meaning like, I don't know, it just, maybe it's hippie language. To me, I thought that meant they know the value of their stuff. They're calling it retro. I saw some dude getting out of his car like he was parking bikes. That's what you can do on a bike. Can't do that in a car. There were a row of cars all parked along the street. He had to drive all the way to the end, almost hit somebody, turning around to park on the other side of the street. Me, I swoop in for the kill.
You said you also had like video game stuff.
Yeah, I haven't brought it down yet.
Okay, I'll wait around just when you're ready.
Okay.
You know, you said you had video game stuff. You gonna bring it down? And you know, he gets me like, oh, you know, I'm bringing everything down, blah blah blah. I don't want to rush him, but at the same time, you know, my time's precious. I don't want to be out in the hot sun the entire freaking day, because I'm having heart attacks out there in the sun. Heat stroke, my brain is literally melted and fried. I'm tired, and you think food would help, but it doesn't, you know? I need a rest, okay? I'm having heart attacks in the sun out there.
He's got like 100 cartridges of Nintendo games, but he's probably not selling them.
He mentions his roommate. He has a box full of old game stuff.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
Good.
Are you gonna try to sell stuff, or?
Yeah, I got some water jugs and some frisbees we could put out front.
And his roommate was just setting up like some frisbees and some water jugs.
I'll ask you because he just mentioned you had like some video games. You said you had lots and you might not be willing to sell, but maybe if you had any doubles or like maybe ones you didn't play as much anymore, or didn't like
maybe, yeah, I could go grab them.
Okay.
Hold on one sec.
Sure.
Wait till he finished his business a little bit, and then I go in, I say, hey, you know, he mentioned you had some old video games. But he says, come in, it'd be easier.
And I brought a whole bunch of these to like a GameStop a while ago, but I wasn't happy with some of the prices because sometimes they only offer you.
They take the old ones in?
They take like any old games in,
yeah.
But they give you, like if they're gonna sell these games for $5 a piece, they'll only give you like 50 cents or $1. For like example,
okay.
Dr. Mario's probably worth at least like $3 to me still, you know.
Early in the conversation, he said he tried selling the games at GameStop, but was unhappy with the trade-in values. Like, he was getting 50 cents.
Yeah, I know there's some that I sold, like I think the original Final Fantasy and the original Mega Man were worth like $100.
Oh, wow.
What is he talking about? I know GameStop has this like retro trade program going on, but you know, I think it's confined to 2 small areas of the US, and I don't even live in those areas. A short while later, he mentions that he sold Mega Man 1 and some other game, 2 games for $100, adding, I guess they're collectible or rare, something like that. Much later, he said the store was Funkoland, which leads me to believe that he hadn't attempted trading these since the late 90s. You know, there ain't any more Funkolands, okay?
How bad do you want these two?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like it depends on like how bad you want the other stuff. So I meant like I want these games probably.
I might have to let those both go for $5, whereas these guys I can let go for 2 apiece if you want. So that's probably higher than your typical garage sale price.
Yeah. Let me think. So it'd be that you're saying that would be 10.
Yeah,
and
that's
then this
still
would be
cheaper than it'd be at a GameStop.
Okay.
It'd probably still be like
14
7.
plus 2, 15 makes 29. Would you take 25?
Sure.
Okay, sweet.
We got Turtles 2. We got one of my favorites, Bubble Bobble. Donkey Kong 3. Finally, we have the best Mega Man. Mega Man 3. You know, Mega Man 2, a lot of people are going to say, what are you talking about? Mega Man 2? That's the best one. Well, kids, no, you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. Mega Man 2 sold a shit ton, okay? That's why you remember it so fondly. But this is the best Mega Man. You get that slide, you get Snake Man, you get this dude with the drills and the electric, whatever. And 4 was the one that introduced the charge. But you also get that rockin' title screen. And, you know, I was thinking about this earlier, and so I'm going to include a link to the Mega Man 3 soundtrack redone with the capabilities of the VRC6 NES chip, which was used in some games like Castlevania 3, but only in the Famicom version. So, and it's really deep, adds a lot of bass to it. Anyway, this guy, he redid this whole soundtrack. Even though I didn't have a Nintendo, I had a Tiger Electronics thing. Actually, I have it out over here. I have to fix the D-pad on it, but while I was home, I grabbed it. This D-pad, if I press right, it doesn't really go. There's like a little thing I had to replace there. I'm gonna take a really shitty game and take the D-pad out of it, like Turtles in Time. Not much more to be said about that game. Super C, Legend of Zelda 2, Donkey Kong Classics. Oh, check this out. We got a sticker here. These are pretty cool. I'd like to have some more of these. Although it looks like a Valentine's card between Rocksteady and Bebop. So I'm getting a price on these things now. He pulled aside Donkey Kong Country 3, he pulled aside Mega Man 3, he pulled aside Turtles, and Super C. And he said, like, I don't know, this is going to be more than garage sale prices. So I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, he sold the thing for $100 online, 2 games. So what is he gonna want? He started listing off $5 for Turtles, for Mega Man. Like $5 was his high price, $2 for you know, like he didn't even think of Dracula being like a game. He just said like, oh, it's a really good game. But yeah, $2. So I was like, oh my god, now I have to go through this bin again. So that's when I grabbed the Metroid. He seemed attached to some things, so you know, like he felt like he wanted to keep Lolo. I didn't grab it, Adventures of Lolo, on the NES. He said it was one of the games he played with his mom. It sounded like, you know, maybe she had died or something. I didn't press. So, adding everything up, it ended up being like $29. So I said, could you give it to me for $25? And he agreed. So, I don't know. I don't know what that works out to. It's probably less than $2 a game or something. I don't know. My math, I'm hungry right now, so I can't do the math. But either way, I mean, I don't really know what was going on with this guy. Why he gave me these deals. You know, maybe he's giving me bro prices, but, you know, I don't know you. You're just some dude who is selling Frisbees for $1 before your roommate mentioned you had old video games. So, yeah. Pretty solid pickup. I even thought that I might not include this because there were some like NES lots that and just game lots, like the old game stuff that I stopped including or putting on film because, you know, I felt like this was common stuff, you know, and but maybe going to the flea markets and seeing the really jacked up prices there, not really jacked up, they're equivalent to online prices, I became more more welcome to the idea of maybe putting in stuff like the NES finds. I'm probably not, I have the video of some of the old lots still sitting on my computer. I don't think I'm gonna put them up. It's going back like a year and a half, so this video is already gonna be late. It's July now, so this is probably gonna go up in September. But anyways, that's the deals. It's out there. Now go get it.